Mass shootings have become a haunting reality in the United States, leaving a profound impact on communities and igniting nationwide debates about gun control, mental health, and public safety. Here are top 9 mass shootings in America. Number 1. Las Vegas, October 1, 2017. The Las Vegas shooting on October 1, 2017, was a horrific mass shooting that occurred during the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival on the Las Vegas Strip, resulting in the deaths of 60 individuals and injuries to approximately 867 others. The shooter, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, opened fire from his 32nd floor suite in the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, using an arsenal of 24 firearms, many equipped with bump stocks to increase their rate of fire. The attack began around 10:05 p.m. and lasted approximately 10 minutes, marking it as the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in U.S. history. Despite extensive investigations, Paddock's motive remains undetermined. Stephen Paddock killed himself in his hotel room after the attack, which remains the deadliest mass shooting by a lone shooter in United States history. Number 2. Orlando, June 12, 2016. The Pulse nightclub shooting on June 12, 2016, was a tragic mass shooting that targeted the LGBTQ community during a Latin night event at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. The attack began around 2:02 a.m. when 29-year-old Omar Mateen opened fire, using a Sig Sauer MCX semi-automatic rifle and a Glock 17 pistol, resulting in the deaths of 49 individuals and injuries to 53 others. The shooting lasted approximately 3 hours, during which Mateen took hostages in the club's bathroom before being killed by police at 5:14 a.m. Mateen pledged allegiance to the Islamic State, ISIS, during the attack and cited U.S. airstrikes in Iraq and Syria as motivation. Classified as both an act of terrorism and a hate crime against the LGBTQ community, the incident sparked national debates on gun control, counter-terrorism, and LGBTQ rights. The site of the nightclub has since been transformed into a memorial honoring the victims and survivors, and the shooting significantly impacted discussions surrounding safety and discrimination within the LGBTQ community. Number 3. Virginia Tech University, April 16, 2007. The Virginia Tech shooting on April 16, 2007, was a devastating mass shooting that resulted in the deaths of 32 individuals and injuries to 17 others, making it one of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history. The perpetrator, 23-year-old Sung Wei Cho, a senior majoring in English, carried out the attack in 2 separate incidents on the campus in Blacksburg, Virginia. The first shooting occurred around 7:15 a.m. in West Ambler Johnston Hall, where Cho killed 2 students, followed by a second attack approximately 2.5 hours later in Norris Hall, a classroom building, where he opened fire on students and instructors for about 9 minutes before taking his own life. Armed with 2 semi-automatic pistols, Cho's motives remain unclear, although he left behind a manifesto expressing anger and resentment. Thank you for making it this far. Please like and subscribe. Number 4. Newtown, Connecticut, December 14, 2012. The Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting on December 14, 2012, in Newtown, Connecticut, was a tragic event that resulted in the deaths of 26 individuals, including 20 children aged 6 to 7 and 6 adult staff members. The perpetrator, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, also killed his mother before carrying out the attack at the school, who later killed himself. Lanza forced his way into the locked building by shooting through a window around 9:30 a.m. and used a Bushmaster XM15E2S rifle, along with 2 handguns, during the assault, which lasted approximately 5 minutes. Teachers implemented lockdown protocols to protect students, but the attack claimed numerous lives in just a short time. The first police officer arrived at the scene within minutes of the first report of the shooting. Following the tragedy, the original school was demolished and a new Sandy Hook Elementary School was built on the same site, opening in 2016. Number 5. Sutherland Springs, Texas, November 5, 2017. The First Baptist Church shooting in Sutherland Springs, Texas, on November 5, 2017, was a devastating attack that resulted in 26 deaths, including an unborn child, and 20 injuries. The perpetrator, Devin Patrick Kelly, a 26-year-old former U.S. Air Force member with a history of domestic violence, used a semi-automatic rifle to open fire on the church during a Sunday service. The attack lasted approximately 11 minutes before Kelly was confronted by a local resident, Stephen Wilford, who shot and wounded him. Kelly fled but ultimately died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a brief chase. The incident sparked legal action against the U.S. Air Force for failing to report Kelly's domestic violence conviction, which could have prevented him from purchasing firearms. In 2022, a judge ordered the Air Force to pay over $230 million in compensation to survivors and victims' families. The church, initially preserved as a memorial, was slated for demolition in August 2024, marking a somber end to the site of the deadliest mass shooting in Texas history and the deadliest at an American place of worship. Number 6. Killeen, Texas, October 16, 1991. The Luby's Cafeteria shooting on October 16, 1991, in Killeen, Texas, was a tragic mass shooting that resulted in the deaths of 23 individuals and injuries to 27 others. The perpetrator, George Hennard, a 35-year-old unemployed former merchant seaman, drove his pickup truck through the restaurant's front window around 12:39 p.m. and opened fire with 2 semi-automatic pistols, targeting patrons during the attack, which lasted approximately 12 minutes. Hennard expressed his hatred for women and shouted phrases such as, "All women of Killeen and Belton are vipers," before ultimately committing suicide as police arrived. This incident was the deadliest mass shooting by a single gunman in U.S. history at the time and sparked significant debates on gun control and self-defense laws, leading to the passage of a concealed carry law in Texas in 1995. The Luby's Cafeteria reopened after 5 months but closed permanently 9 years later, leaving a lasting impact on the community and contributing to ongoing discussions about gun violence and public safety in America. Number 7. San Ysidro, California, July 18, 1984. The San Ysidro McDonald's massacre on July 18, 1984, was a horrific mass shooting that resulted in the deaths of 21 people, including an unborn child, and injuries to 19 others at a McDonald's restaurant in San Diego, California. The perpetrator, 41-year-old James Oliver Hubbardie, entered the restaurant around 4 p.m. and opened fire indiscriminately with multiple firearms, including a 9mm Uzi, a Browning HP pistol, and a 12-gauge shotgun, during a rampage that lasted approximately 77 minutes. The police response was initially delayed due to a dispatcher error, but ultimately involved a large presence, including a SWAT team, which ended the attack when a sniper shot Hubbardie. While the motive for the shooting remains unclear, Hubbardie had expressed hatred towards society and had a history of mental health issues. Number 8. Uvalde, Texas, May 24, 2022. The Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas, on May 24, 2022, was a devastating tragedy that resulted in the deaths of 21 people, including 19 children and 2 teachers, with at least 17 others injured. The shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, entered the school at 11:33 a.m. and remained in adjoining classrooms for 77 minutes before being confronted by law enforcement. The incident sparked intense criticism of the police response, with over 370 officers on scene failing to act promptly. Ramos used an AR-15 style rifle he had legally purchased shortly after his 18th birthday. The shooting, which became the 3rd deadliest school shooting in U.S. history and the deadliest in Texas, reignited national debates on gun control, school safety, and law enforcement protocols for active shooter situations. In the aftermath, the school building was demolished, and ongoing investigations, including a critical incident review by the U.S. Department of Justice, continue to examine the events and response to this tragic incident that deeply affected the Uvalde community and the nation at large. Number 9. Parkland, Florida, February 14, 2018. The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting on February 14, 2018, in Parkland, Florida, was a tragic event that resulted in the deaths of 17 individuals, including 14 students and 3 staff members, while injuring 17 others. The perpetrator, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, a former student of the school, entered Building 12 at approximately 2:21 p.m. and opened fire with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle, continuing the attack for about 6 minutes before fleeing the scene. Law enforcement faced criticism for their delayed response in entering the building. The incident sparked nationwide protests and activism for gun control, led by student survivors, and resulted in the formation of the March for Our Lives movement and the passage of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act in Florida. Cruz pleaded guilty to all charges in October 2021 and was sentenced to life in prison without parole in November 2022. The tragic reality of mass shootings in the United States serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for comprehensive solutions to prevent such violence and protect our communities. Each incident not only represents a devastating loss of life but also highlights the resilience of survivors and the powerful advocacy for change that often follows. Thank you, and please subscribe.